and welcome to another episode of Wear Many Hats. My name is Rachel, and this is the podcast that's totally dedicated to the FM and property world. Today, we have a fantastic guest with us. We have Laura Warner.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning. She is the Client Development Director at JLL. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Did you come from far this morning?
So I've come from Buckinghamshire.
Right.
I haven't been there for very long, only 4 months.
Okay.
So
How was the journey?
good. It's about 50 or so minutes into Marylebone.
Okay,
So not so bad.
Yeah, we're looking at an hour and a bit now to get into London, really, aren't we, with all the bits and community? Did you have to get the tube or are you?
So I drove to the station. So I'm about 11 minutes now. So I basically bought a new house. So I'm in the countryside.
Nice.
So I knew what I was taking on when I bought my new house. So, but it's lovely to have the divide. So a bit of countryside and then obviously the bright lights of London.
I get it. No, totally. I totally do. Well, I really appreciate you coming down today to talk about your journey and your career. And hopefully we'll get some good pointers out for anyone looking to get into the industry and do what you do. So should we rewind a bit?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's go. So where did it all start for you?
So I to be honest with you, I never knew what I wanted to do. It was one of those things where I sort of flitted between doing. I actually did really, to my surprise, I actually did really, really well at school. I was sort of told that maybe my grades wouldn't be that good. But I'd enrolled into a media and theatrical makeup course first.
It's really exciting.
It was until I politely got asked to leave because they didn't feel like my passion was there. So I feel like that was probably a good thing, a good time to leave. And then, so I decided to go back to do A-levels at college, and that was I think that was a really good decision to make. And then in the midst of that, in our sort of lunch breaks, there was some sort of teenagers handing out leaflets around the colleges.
Yeah.
And I was a bit intrigued. And it was a kitchen contact centre, design centre, sales role. So there was a morning, an afternoon and evening shift.
Yeah.
So before I could drive, my parents used to drop me off at the gates of college, and I used to get the bus down the road and sit at the contact centre making calls for a contact.
Calling. Straight in. That was your
Straight in.
job.
Straight in.
Oh, wow.
This was the days.
Where you are.
Yeah.
You've been through.
I've been through it.
It's hard.
I've been
through
through it.
sales. That's cold as hard.
Yeah. Over the days when they used to hand out checks, weekly checks. So yeah, it probably shows my age a little bit. But yeah, it was a great starting point for me.
I mean, it throws you right in the deep end as far as sales is concerned.
Literally, it really did. And I sort of realised I really wanted to earn money, and that was exciting for me. I had sort of goals and ambitions at that point. I've always wanted to sort of make my own money, earn my own money, and I really do think it was a fantastic stepping stone for me.
Definitely.
And I also met my husband unexpectedly there.
Wow.
Which changed my world. So yeah, he was actually the evening shift manager. It was his gap year job. Can I just say it was a gap year job, but he did quite well there. So it was sort of in the midst of him before he was going traveling, and also before he went to medical school. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was his kind of first
yeah,
job.
his first job too. So that was really, really exciting. So we were sort of a great team there. And then basically I sort of set off traveling. I knew he was going to medical school, and my dad, it was quite funny actually. My dad said to me, you can't sort of follow some guy around the world. And I thought, well, I'm going to do it. I feel like there's something here. I'm going to do it. He said, okay, well, when you turn 18, you can go. So literally the day after my 18th birthday, I sort of took my checkbook and I went out. I went out to Australia. It's amazing, isn't it? Expensive.
young, but and as young as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So experiencing the world already.
It was brilliant because, it was really, I just turned 18. I thought, again, I think the points I want to get across is that you don't always have to know straight away what you want to do. And I feel like traveling is a great way to sort of start and meet people.
Yeah. And also it develops your communication skills, your understanding different cultures.
Yeah.
Getting, the courage to go and do something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Far away as well.
That's true.
I think that's it's a brilliant. I lived in Portugal. I didn't really feel the need to travel, but I did travel with my family. So long distance. So I've been to a lot of places. And things. I think it is, if you get that chance, it's fantastic to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a really good. Got back from traveling, and again, I'm just a little bit lost.
Yeah,
a little bit lost, and. I camped out at his in his halls in Bristol for a while he started medical school, and then I did a marketing job for a while, sort of fluttered between things. Again, I did quite well there actually. I think one of the biggest transactions and deals I did was P&O Ferries, which was really, really exciting, really good opportunity. And then I really wanted to work in London. I thought it's always been a sort of dream of mine to be in London. And I started at medical charity in King's Cross. This is before all of the developments. This is before the world of, exciting office spaces. Yeah. It was tough to be sort of coming in quite young.
Scary.
It was scary. I sort of walked up the Caledonian Road, if anyone knows it, and the river where there, lots of interesting people, shall I say, on that 4 or 5 minute walk up Caledonian Road. But it was a job where I built a renewals team. So because charities are non-for-profit, this was a really exciting opportunity because it gave me the space to help people, because if anyone doesn't know the charity Medical Alert, they're a fantastic charity who, if you've got a hidden medical condition, you've got the pulse points on your wrists and your neck, and they support the jewellery. So, for example, if you collapse in the street, automatically paramedics are going to be checking pulse points. So for me to be able to go to a charity and sort of drive revenue, drive impact, make a difference was fantastic. So yeah, as I said, I built a renewals team from scratch. So that's renewing memberships there to make sure their details are up to date as possible with their medical details and their personal details. And I just built process. I motivate people. I drive that performance, and I absolutely loved that role. I loved that job, and I think it sort of set the tone for some fantastic people that I met there. And I think it gave me a sense of building relationships, understanding people, and really driving people skills.
Fantastic opportunity to give back as well.
Yeah, which I loved, but unfortunately that sort of came to an end when they decided to move to Milton Keynes.
Doesn't it? People pick up and go really far. And you're like, oh no,
I know,
you're not there.
No, exactly.
It's too far. So yeah, where did you go to from there? Now you're kind of
So I became really good friends with someone called David Fellman, who's a director, and he's the head of Occupy Advisory now at New Steer. He's incredible. I just say that.
Oh.
He was also an usher at my wedding.
Oh wow! Really that close? Right,
very close. Yeah. So very, very close. We were in the same sort of friendship groups outside of work. So just basically one day in one sentence, he said to me that sort of changed everything. He said, "Your skills are transferable. you'll be brilliant in property. And I was a bit like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no sort of experience. But I thought, you know what? Medical work went really, really well. I set up something from scratch. I had no, I basically came from nothing. I had no experience in that. I had no knowledge. I had no data. I had like nothing to sort of go with. I sort of
made it work.
Sort of rocked up, and I made it work. As I said, I made it work. So yeah, I feel like, okay, fine. It's connected all the parts of my personality. That's competitiveness, resilience, and also people skills. So yeah, okay, why not? Let's sort of go for it. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, it was an interesting process. I think I met two of the CEOs at a random Cafe Rouge, I think in Hampstead, something like that.
Yeah.
And there's two suited and booted kind of men sort of rocking in.
Not mind you saying.
Sort of just. Yeah, I think I was a little bit intimidated. There's me just sort of like, what, don't know. And
near me.
Yeah, near me. I'm not used to that sort of, suits and, I don't come from that world. Like I don't come from, my background. My dad, for example, played professional football. I grew up with two older brothers. Everything's been quite competitive. So I've definitely built a resilience. And I am quite good at putting faces on it, and I'm very good at so I think I showed up really, really well.
Yeah. So you put you just went for it, I guess.
I went for it. Why not? I mean,
what have you got to lose? I think that's you've got to give it a try, haven't you?
Got to give it a try, and
it worked out.
And it really, really did work out. Yeah, I the targets again, female in property, even just female in sort of sales world. I did exceptionally well. I think I was number 12, and then we grew the business to about 40 people, and I sort of tapped them on the shoulder and said, look, it'll be great females within this space because we need it. There was some great people at Devono, and it was the biggest, I don't know how to put it, it sort of gave me a good base.
Yeah.
They were great at training and knowing about the market. I think that's quite important.
With you to pull out your skills.
Working with me to pull out my skills. There was also something that I believe in, which is you can't teach tenacity.
No, you've got to have that. I think it's got to be in you somewhere.
You've got to have it. Like you said, you've got it or you don't. And yeah, some people cave in that environment, and some people absolutely, go for it and thrive in it and keep thriving. And I just kept going and doing really, really well. And towards the end, I sort of had, I did a lot of the client relationships, so the existing clients, sort of growing those accounts, which was quite fun. And then
you were there a while, weren't you?
I was there a while. Yeah, I was.
That's so good. And that was what, like your second or third job, just.
That was pretty much my second proper
job.
I don't know if you can count the kitchen sales, but yeah.
It was a job. You got paid.
I got paid,
but eight years you were there.
Yeah, 8 years I was there. I really enjoyed it because I got to work my way up. So I went from just sort of consultant, senior consultant, then to associate director, which, to be honest with you, was... God, they made me work for that.
Yeah.
They really made me work for that, even though I was sort of smashing targets. I'm pleased they did, though. Yeah. I'm pleased they did because
where you are now.
No, I don't think I would, because they did really elevate the skill set. And there's some fun. Again, there's some really good people there, and I think you've interviewed a few people that stand off from there, so you sort of know the name. So yeah, it was a brilliant base. And anyone that's come from that world, that core sort of tenant only focus, I just want to relay this. It's a really interesting world because you're negotiating, but you're not just negotiating, you're consulting. And that's so important.
I think personally, between you and I and the rest of the world now, is that consultative sales is going to, you're going to last. If you can consult and help and look like you're trying to solve a problem for them, not just here it is, have it, and force it on them. with no reason as to why, then I think, so consultative sales is always the best. I mean, 25 years in recruitment I did. So
you have
to be very consultative to keep those clients as well.
Retention, exactly that. Retention is probably not said enough, actually, but that is really important. It's the bones. And I think they did really well at that retention piece.
Yeah.
So
I know them well,
good.
Over the years.
Over the years, you'll know people. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen them about. So how, so going from there.
I really, really wanted to buy my first home, and I did at 25. And I feel like Devona gave me that platform.
That was the hard work, the push.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be where I am now buying this, a countryside property. Look, money isn't everything, but you know what I mean.
You need goals. You couldn't handle it.
Yep. You need goals. You need goals in life. But so grateful to David. So he will be cringing that I'm talking about him as well. He's just anyway, whatever.
No,
all good.
It's going to come up in a minute. The question about who gave you.
Exactly.
Let's talk about how you got into JLL.
So JLL, interesting. So I actually, so from there, I was actually nominated for Women in Sales, which EMEA 2020, which was just the most insane experience of my life. It really put me out there, and it put me in a room full of women who were just as inspirational as the other. So sitting on a table saying, where did you come from? What did you do? And, where, all these it was just,
recognised and awarded for that. Yeah.
Being recognised, like finally, it was brilliant. And then from there, I was asked to be, I approached Ginny, who probably was a massive instrumental person in my life, because she got me from, basically, I don't think I would have got to JLL without her, because she's insane for change management, and she really understood me as a person, as a human being, because I felt a bit lost, if I'm honest. I felt a bit like, who am I? This is the important thing. And I think a lot of people get to this point in their careers where they go, who am I? What am I doing? And where do I go? And you feel like, wow, I've been in this amazing bubble and I've done all these incredible things, but what is the next level?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I feel like I've gone through my entire career going, not really sure what I want to do, but then I've executed, I've done quite well. So could I replicate that again? I don't know. Like, let's get this sort of go. And she sort of said, look, what are your sort of drivers? And where could you add the most value? And I knew of a few people at JLL, and she said, just go for it, Laura. So then I reached out to someone I knew, again, it's connections, but I knew someone really, really well in recruitment, funnily enough. Nat, who again is just fire. Yeah. And she's great. And she reached out to the person I knew, because I think sometimes a little bit awkward, isn't it? When you feel like you know people, but you're at that world where you're just like, okay, everyone's talking, everyone's communicating.
You have to have these conversations.
You do. It's like, and then like, right, she's really looking to sort of move on. But anyway, so they were like, we don't have a job here for Laura. We don't have a job. We don't do sales. We don't have anyone doing that. Some of the surveyors are sort of dabbering here and there, but obviously they're doing their transactional work. But what could you bring? So I went along and I actually pitched to them as to why they need me.
Wow. Okay.
And it went well.
And they made you a job.
They made me a job. They created a job for me. And again, I'm like, wow. I just sort of blew them away with that. And they were sort of to the point where they were like toing and froing. There was quite a few people involved in the interview process. And as expectedly, as a head of talent rep who is great, and he's no longer there now, but I think he was great, and he gave me the sort of corporate piece to do with like the US clients and understanding tech businesses and things like that. Then you had on the other side, which is more the flex, which we've obviously touched on, which is which is great, a great world to be in, and they just kept a few of them just kept going backwards and forwards. Like, where do we put her? Where do we put her? And then in the end, we just said, look, she's doing business development for tenant reps. So whether that's a client that needs serviced offices or managed office solutions, or whether they need actual leasehold space, which is 10 or 5-year leases, or even short-term remainder leases, that sort of world. So yeah, I sort of started there. And booking pitches, booking meetings for clients. And I think for me, it was really understanding clients' needs. So I think some of the top priorities there recently have been sort of reducing
The consultative piece again.
Yes.
Sure. Finding out what their needs are.
What they need. Yeah. Really sort of it's very cliche, isn't it? Getting under the skin of the requirement.
Yes. Getting to the bones.
Getting to the bones of it. Like, what is it? But no, it's I quite enjoy that. I enjoy someone talking to me and not wanting to talk to me to start with, and they go,
oh wow,
not really sure, we're not sure what we're doing. Okay, right. I love it. Give it to me all day long. You don't really know what you're doing. You don't. Okay, that's fine. So you've got at least right. Okay, and how many staff? Anyway, it just becomes this. They just open up, and towards the end of it, they're like, yeah, actually, it would be really valuable that you meet us, especially when you're talking about operational costs, space utilization, achieving, and then
definitely yes. So one of the questions is, did you always know you was going to end up on this path?
No.
Obviously, you didn't really know where you wanted to go. And again, it's one of those, you got put into the situation by someone, and that's the next question. And who will get you that real push? You mentioned David.
Yeah.
And a couple of other people that assisted you on the way. So it's kind of sometimes who you know, isn't it?
It is. Look, again, we talk about cliches, who you know, but I think if I look at the outside looking in, and I've got a lot of people internally, even now, like you sort of graduates or, and to be fair, externally as well, but they sort of say, wow, you're at JLL and you're in property. Like, how did that happen? And sometimes you've got to sort of take a step back and go, it is about, they're people businesses. So if you can communicate properly and you can provide solutions, you're not selling. Like you're consulting.
Yeah.
Selling for me, I feel like sometimes the word selling or BD or like head of BD, I don't like those things. I don't like it. I feel like it devalues what you're doing. So
consultant with that word on it sounds a lot softer, doesn't it?
Yeah, strategy, consulting.
People see the words or hear the words.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was very much cold calling for us.
That
involved. It just was like, no.
Yeah.
I sold I smell.
Oh, did you? Oh, right.
Quite a lot in common, probably similar age.
Yeah.
As well. So
there you go.
Yeah, I hated it.
I
didn't like the rejection of being.
I love it. But you think about no. So you get rejected, and what happens? So you're sitting here on the phone, and what happens if they hang up?
Just move on to the next.
Well, yeah, but you're still sitting in the same seat.
Yeah, I guess.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
So
it's how you personally take it. I think that was me. I'm sensitive.
I don't care.
Like if that's good advice, isn't it?
Why are you worried?
But my first job, I was absolutely terrified to get.
I was so scared, to pick up the phone.
That was me.
Why? Also, I find it quite funny because sometimes, if you're a qualified surveyor, and I won't go back to education, but obviously I did my AS. Levels. I'm not a qualified surveyor, but I can read a lease. I can do the fundamentals to get me from A to B.
Yeah.
And I think that's also important. It's like people think, got to go to university. I was thriving, right? When a lot of my friends are wasting their money at university or buying a 1-bedroom flat. I'm buying a house in Hertfordshire, buying a house. It set the tone for my future and my children. So, I don't need to, sometimes it's not just about wasting space. I am a believer in education, don't get me wrong, because I look at
but specifically,
but know what it is,
what's
right?
the goal?
What's the goal? What's the outcome?
I agree with you on that. And obviously coming from recruitment again, that is always something. I used to see people take such many, many years out of their life to study.
Just go traveling. Just go
They
traveling.
couldn't get a job. And it was so sad to see. And whereas the people that have got experience, may even been a bit younger, they got the job. And and again, it's got to be relative to what you're doing, I think.
That's it. That's it.
I'm just personally speaking.
Yep.
But so you are where you are now. So let's talk about your job today. What does a day in your world actually look like?
Yeah, so I focus a lot on new clients, so where we don't have existing relationships. It's quite hard sometimes to navigate if we generally, do we really have a relationship? You have some people that go, I know so-and-so, so-and-so, but really, do you know so-and-so? And if you do know so-and-so, why are they not a client? So it really is sort of that push and pull internally. So I come in, I support various service lines, so lease advisory, tenant rep, all the occupier teams, both in the city office and the West End. So it's always checking those existing relations internally, connecting all the dots and basically booking meetings. I think what's also really important is to make sure the right people in the right room.
Yes.
And sometimes you get... it might be, you might think it's too sort of surveyor-led. You get a gauge of what the client really needs, and it's quite demanding, if I'm honest. But but again, that's exactly where my role adds the most value.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I mean, and that, and you're out and about, and you're moving, and you've desk bound. How it?
Yeah, I think I've been desk bound for a while. I go on the important pitches and meetings.
So you've got a team under you?
I've got, so I mainly support the tenant rep team, so in the city office in Walbrook and the West End office in Warwick Street, so the tenant rep surveyors. And also I have a direct link into the flex team, so the flex brokers. So, for example, if a client needs, they need to review their plans, it might not necessarily just go down that full sort of, again, I think I mentioned before, but that 10-year or 5-year lease term, it might be something completely different.
Yeah.
They may need...
That's the flex side.
Yeah, that's the sort of flex solutions. And it's great that occupiers are reviewing their needs as a whole and able to... Because I feel like sometimes with flex and service, it may have been sort of a dirty sort of word and a dirty world. And they think, I'm a corporate, I don't need to be in sort of flexible solution. But there's so many other exciting options now. There's a lot of managed solutions where they're branding the spaces to you'd never know. You'd sort of walk.
Yeah. We've got them down there. There's some branded offices and you know who they are.
Yeah. It's still an identity, and I think if you can get through that and you can break that barrier of going, it can look great. The spaces can look great.
So many now, isn't there? We were saying that earlier before the show. There's so many different flex providers. I've had quite a few on the show.
Yes, I know. Yeah, so it's a really good solution.
Yeah,
for occupiers.
I agree. So let's talk challenges. What's sort of testing you right now in your role?
So I think that motherhood and a career colliding. Yeah. I had 2 under 2. Oh, which was
that's a lot.
Really, yeah. Sophia was a bit of a surprise, but yeah.
Well, one.
Yes. Super loved one if she slept. So
but working with children.
Yeah. So I think it's just sort of coming back to that. But I also think it's mum guilt, because there's not enough women out there that say, I enjoy a career and I enjoy working.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with it. And they say, oh, you can do it all. And there's so many cliches, and it just annoys me. And I when I scroll through Instagram, and I'm like, all these reels that go, yeah, you can have it all. You can have it all, but you know, there's a lot of women out there saying, you know, they love motherhood, and you know, then they don't end up going back to work. Look, it's not working. It is not conducive with motherhood most of the time. The juggle is real. The juggle is hard. You're dropping your children at nursery at 7:30. You don't see them till 7 o'clock at night, right? It's a long day for, you know, for especially being sort of under school age. But I'm not afraid to say that I love working and I enjoy it. And you've got to do something for you. It makes you a better mum.
Yeah. Also, we have to pay bills as well.
We have to pay bills. We have to pay for the new view of the new house.
Having children, so
yeah, you can say that again.
Expensive as they get older.
Yeah.
I don't think there is anything wrong with saying that. I think, you know, whatever suits you. You know, if you do want to stay at home with the children and you're able to,
yes,
then
exactly,
you know, that's what you want to do. That's fine. But but you're right. It's not. You don't have to be ashamed to say I like working.
Yeah, I enjoy working, and I think it's great.
I like that. And is that challenging you right now? Is that?
Yeah, it is. I think when I had my son, I met someone very. So basically a lockdown, you know, when you can only go for a walk and fresh air for 5 minutes a day or whatever that was. I can't even remember the exact rules nowadays. It changed so much, and nor does Boris. But you know, so I went for a dog walk. I posted something on Facebook saying about vets. I was getting a puppy, as you do, because obviously we all got puppies.
Yes.
This is before children, by the way. Before children, I got a puppy, and it changed my world again. So for me, I posted about vets, and some lovely lady called Stacey replied back, and I was like, okay, great, we'll go for a dog walk. I met up, things, you know, it went really, really well. It's like, I sound like I'm going on a date, but it went really, really, it went really, really well. And I met her at a time where I know she won't mind me saying, I think she was a bit lost in her sort of career. She'd had her children, again, they were quite young, but she wanted to go back. She wanted to go into property. She wasn't in property. So she sort of looked at me. I said, oh, that's weird. You know, I was thinking, does she know me? Do you know who I am? Do you know what I'm doing? Yeah. It's a bit weird. Like, I thought, I'm in property. And then she said, you know, and we had the same dog, by the way. It was like the weirdest thing. We both have sausage dogs and, all those things anyway. So let's throw the dogs out there. Everyone wants to hear about the dogs.
Especially sausage dogs.
So she was like, I really want to get into property. And I was like, I really want to have children. I had my son, and I guess I sort of struggled. I had my son, postnatal depression, all that lovely, fun, hormonal stuff that come with it. So so she mentored me in motherhood, and I mentored her to get into property, and now she's absolutely killing it in social value. At Ridge and Partners, she's doing really well. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting you to say. I don't know what. I don't know what.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, goodness, so it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Moments. Yeah, those moments in life are absolutely fantastic. And now, funny, the tables turned. She's now sort of doing the same again. So I'm back after another paternity leave. So she's certainly she gives me confidence, and she gives me all the things days and that you know, when I think, you know what, I'm sort of struggling here, and you know, am I going to be able to do this? Yeah. So she's it's weird. Yeah. So she was working for like in retail, like TK Maxx, and she was I think she was really lost. And we had a few interesting when you could sit in the garden with people in COVID. So I've made a really good friend in lockdown. I'm grateful for lockdown.
Love that. And she would probably say the same, I would have thought. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that. I love hearing things like that. So let's talk about the industry itself then. Where do you think the industry is heading, and what sort of excites you? I mean, we've got, you know, lots of things that we can talk about, sort of AI, ESG, remote working, tech, all the stuff that's done. Yeah. What excites you?
Yeah, I think what excites me more is in real estate is that we're coming away from transactions. So it's about solving real estate problems. So we're able to use insights and technology to create better outcomes for our clients. And I think that's exciting. Yeah. You know, sort of gone are the days where that's it. You're just doing a one-off 10,000 square foot deal, right?
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Clients, they need more
seats there. It's
you can't talk to a client just about a lease break or lease expiry. It's not going to work.
No. This is the consultative bit again.
There's the consultative bit. And I think that's why we've evolved. I think it is exciting because now, again, at JLL is a great platform we have all the skill sets internally. We have all of the skills in-house to be able to support a client through an entire journey and actually have measurables and deliverables. So the industry is shifting. I mean, capital's definitely returning. Decisions are smarter. Using tech and data, again, we can talk about sustainability and AI, but they're no longer options. Yeah. They are fundamental.
Yes, they are. Yeah, love that. So AI, we touched on this. Is it a friend or foe in your world? I love it. It helps.
I think personally and professionally, it's a friend if used properly. Agreed. I think AI gives us speed, intelligence, and visibility, which is incredibly powerful, especially in a complex data-heavy industry like real estate.
Yes.
It's, I guess what I do, there's always a hell of a lot of data. So it's been able to definitely filter down the right data for me. And it's been great. But I also think that it will never, ever replace the human side of what we do. Yeah. For me, relationships and judgment and emotional intelligence is what I sort of really gravitate towards.
Yes.
And also, I mean, I just mentioned, but I'll say it again, but I think AI can support better decisions. Yeah. Even though clients are taking a little bit longer to make these decisions, they're actually making the right decisions, which is important.
It is.
I think JLL's transforming also client experiences. They've got the Falcon platform, which is it's got capabilities for portfolio management, financial reporting, lease administration, which is a big thing at the moment. Especially if you're sort of in EMEA, in the US, you're sort of consolidating all of your administration, and there might be just one person in the UK you sort of driving that and really needs support. And these are big businesses. I have conversations with 80,000 square foot requirements, and they're there's one person in London sort of running various aspects of that. So I think it's quite important.
Yeah.
And also provides clients with sort of real-time visibility as well into their portfolio. Yeah. And also JLL ChatGPT, can I just highlight that?
I love
it automates the routine, the boring work.
Yeah, it gets to know you. But like you say, you have to be careful what you put in because and double check what comes out because it might not be necessarily how you. Yeah,
I've been pulled up on that a few times. Yeah. There's some various bits I'm like, I should have probably reread that a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. That is a good tip. Yeah, so it's a friend of yours then. That's good.
Absolutely.
Love it. And JLL's as well. So ESG is a buzzword as well at the moment. What does it really mean to you in your work at JLL?
Yeah, it's so we say sustainability. So in my world, it basically means understanding how real estate choices are impacting a client's business. So for resilience, for their reputation, decisions are they're not made for just today.
Yeah.
These are decisions that are impacting 5 or 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
So, occupiers, and they not only are ambitious, they've got a lot of ambitious targets. They're public targets.
Yes.
They're out there.
Yeah.
But also, if they're doing it correctly, it's sort of, and how they're operating, it says something about who they are as a business as well.
I think so. Yeah, I agree. And you guys are on board.
Yeah,
leading it.
Yeah, we are. We are doing really well, in that space, and we have a great team. And I do think that sustainability works best when it's enabled into strategies, and it's not just bolted on at the end.
Yeah. it's meaningful.
It's meaningful. It's done properly.
Yeah.
It creates better workplaces, stronger businesses, and it's actually a more sustainable outcome for everyone.
And relationships as well. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Relationships.
I agree. So do you think you sort of mentioned a little bit earlier, but do you think the industry's innovating fast enough, or are we still playing catch up? I don't know if you can say that at JLL. You're probably leading.
Yeah, we are. I know. I was like, we're definitely leading. We are innovating.
Yeah.
If we just put JLL to the side, because we are, but
yeah,
if I look at it outside of JLL, I think some of it's sort of very evenly, right? It's not like a straight line. I say parts of the industry are innovating quickly, particularly around data and technology and flexible workspace strategies, which I've touched on.
Yeah.
So yes and no.
Yeah. So looking back, what moment or project are you most proud of today? I'm sure there's been many.
Yeah, I think the women's sales was a highlight. I think I was also featured in the Evening Standard. Which was really cool. I was like right at the front. I was like determined to get myself at the front of on the paper. So I was really happy.
Oh,
just advocating for increased female participation in commercial and construction world.
Love that.
We've come a long way, but we still need good women in this industry. And I'm quite grateful and quite lucky that there are some fantastic women at JLL.
Yeah, I've met.
Yeah, we spoke about this previously, but I'm just just encouraging women to be in those positions and just fostering more of a balanced and inclusive workforce. And that, there's quite a few senior people there, like women in those roles, and it's cool. It's it's exciting.
It is.
It's exciting. We just need to continue doing that.
Yeah, and this is some of the issues is that it's not spoken about enough, the sort of property world and how huge it is, and you don't need to be physically strong.
Yes.
And I'm not saying, because there's a lot of women in construction now, which I also love seeing, you don't need to be physically strong. There's lots and lots of roles
there is
that would suit someone or anyone.
It
is in females.
I love going to like on site and like putting my helmet on and getting my
me
boots.
Too.
Why not? Like I love it. Just why not?
I do.
We're doing it. We're doing
it. Does empower us. I do. I agree with you. And that's it. And well done on the sales.
Thank
reward.
you.
And I had one many moons ago, even before 2020. If you can keep saying.
I don't know if you can. Yeah, I mean, listen, that was a while ago, but like
I'm not even in the 2000s. I think I'm before then. Yeah, we don't get that, I'm afraid. No, maybe just a hug. So what's something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
What a good question. Oh my goodness. What? Because I didn't come from, I didn't go down any traditional route, whether it's a graduate route, whether it's any other route. And I don't know anyone that's sort of gone down my route, if I'm honest. If you look at the industry now, and I look at all of the other sort of teams and all of our competitors, there's a few people doing, various little bits and pieces and roles and sales and bits and pieces like that. But I didn't know what I had to be. I didn't know what I was doing. So I guess it's okay. I just want to let people know it's okay. If you're going into an industry, whether it's real estate, whether it's
retail,
recruitment, recruitment, medical industry, whatever it is, if you don't, and also you don't always have to know what you're doing, and you don't always have to know the next step.
Yeah, and sometimes, and the majority of interviews and podcastees I've had on here, they've fallen into this role somehow from a job they've had. We've had lifeguards on here that sort of went into duty management, and then, and I mention them quite a lot because I find that one just, receptionists that have gone and now they're like heads of, I I just don't think, but we don't talk about this industry enough. And I think,
No, we don't.
And I'm hoping that this podcast gets out to those younger listeners that
I really hope so.
Yeah, or even you've got the people that are in the role and want to do what you do.
Yeah.
How did we get there? How did you do that? And you've obviously explained, through hard work and grit and determination, and and some skills that you actually naturally have. Which we were talking about. It doesn't suit all sales in particular.
It doesn't. But, I'm just, I guess, I say lucky enough. I've worked really hard to, sort of project and use my skills in an industry.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, it's quite clever.
Yes, it is. And it's an enjoyable industry. And
I love it. Yeah, I love this industry.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing people, and not just surveyors, right?
Interview a lot of them.
Yes, well, a lot of people.
So very lucky to hear about people's experiences and how they got to where they got to.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. And then if someone came to you tomorrow saying, "I want to do what you do," what would you say to them?
I've had that. I've had it. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like I throw them in the deep end.
Yeah,
and. If you can swim through that, then you're fine. So I literally I just go, okay, fine, here you go. Yeah. Here's a client, here's a phone number.
Yeah,
go. Oh. And it's raw. Yeah. It's raw. It's very raw.
I remember my first telesales call. I think it might have been in the height of summer, and I was selling ice melt, and to like maintenance guys, and they were like, what? It just. Call me back in. And it's hard, isn't it?
It is hard.
But once you get through it and get used to it, and it's repetition, isn't it? And I think especially when you're first starting out in sales, anyway.
And do you know what's quite interesting is when you start out and you actually are talking to a client about their strategy, and you're sitting, then you go and sit in front of them, and you're like, wow. And then all of a sudden, your phone call is just like elevated. Things that you didn't realize come out like face to face as well, and they trust you as well. Like, I feel really privileged and lucky that someone can trust me so much on the phone call that I'm actually delivering as well what you're saying.
Yeah. So you're listening. You're listening,
and you are just generally creating a really positive output for them as a business, and then you see them grow. The best thing I've had is in situations where I've worked with clients who are like 10 people, and then all of a sudden it's like, they're 100 people, 150 people. And
you've built that relationship. Yeah.
I remember speaking to someone, again, just at Devono, and it was a business. I won't say the name, but they're a really, really big online presence now, retail presence, and they were 10 people.
Yeah.
And he used to work out of his bedroom.
I love this. I love these stories.
And it's a really, really big brand now. Yeah. Like, you wouldn't be...
Yeah.
We wouldn't...
Yeah,
We would recognise that. And...
Facebook started out like that, wasn't it? Two guys in there.
Yes, Facebook did start out like that.
Yeah. You just never know where something's going to go.
Yeah. There's a lot of people innovating and trying to innovate. There's a lot of spin-offs. There's a lot of things going on. But if you do it well, and I go back to anything really. If you really, really want to do something, but you don't know how to do it, I do think the work experience is the best place. Then just like call up like someone, call up a PA, a receptionist, ask her, look, I know you don't have anything, like just go like from the ground up. If you think, I've listened to, I read a really interesting book, call the publisher. Like, I mean, what, like, what's the harm?
Worst that's going to happen?
They'll just say no.
Exactly.
Like, or not even no. They might direct you, which I've had a lot, to someone else.
Yeah.
And you have the same conversation, same again. Yeah, why not?
That was my dad's advice to me. Best bit of advice I ever had.
I love your dad.
You don't get.
Don't ask, don't get. What's the harm? Honestly, what is the harm?
That's it. So let's switch off work. And obviously you've got two little ones and a husband, but what do you like to do outside your day job?
Yeah, we love going for walks.
Nice.
You're
in the country.
Oh, it's brilliant. Oh my God, it's such a
yes.
I've always sort of imagined what it would be like. And just we love going for walks. We we try and create a really happy environment. So there's a lot of singing and there's a lot of dancing in our house. There's a lot of play. Yeah, we love going out to eat. We love socializing as a family. We do a lot of hosting.
Nice.
This year we did Christmas Day,
Oh,
Boxing
wow.
Day, the day after, and New Year's. So it's pretty full on. Yeah, we love hosting. We just love being around people. We're always busy.
You've been together a long time, so
yeah, 17, 18. But he's good. I mean, he does a lot of like on calls, a lot of shift work. So there's a lot of, again, there's
so
juggling.
he went through to medical.
Yeah,
and come out the other side. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
He's actually really senior, really well. He's one of the UK's robotic urologist surgeon. So he heads up.
Oh, I find that so interesting.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Talk more.
Yeah, on the robot. So he's actually doing a proper job, not just.
No. Yeah. You're needed too. Yeah, no. Where would we be if we didn't have someone selling these properties for us and getting people? Yes. So last one. What's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
Yes, it's also my dad. So he said to me, well, there was two bits of advice. One I probably can't mention on here.
Yeah.
It's got a swear word in. But there was another bit of advice, which was, there's always a way out.
Yeah.
He's right. He's so right. Yeah. Whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's an area, location.
I agree.
There's always a way out, because you're speaking to people and you go, so-and-so this, so-and-so that, oh, you could do it. You could do it that way. Or, it's brilliant. It's amazing. And he's so right. Yeah. Every time I go, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this, or oh, that went really bad. He's like, well, let's unwrap it. Let's unravel it. And there's always a way out, Laura.
I word it slightly different, but it's been very similar, is we've always got choices.
Yeah.
We have.
He's right.
We either stay put, move forward,
yes,
get out, get in.
Go sideways.
Yes, there's all sorts. Yes.
Jump backwards.
All different
whatever
ways in life.
100%.
Generally. So that's a sound bit of advice from Dad. I love that. Thank you so much for coming on, Laura. I've thoroughly enjoyed that.
Good.
You know, it's inspirational what you've done, and I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to want to reach out to you. Is that okay on LinkedIn?
Yes, of course it is.
You'll be tagged on there anyway. Yeah, because I think, you know, people, if they want to do what you do, you know, they're going to need to ask you questions. But yeah, I've really enjoyed that, and it would be a pleasure to see you in your journey moving forward. 7 years and 4 months you've been at JLL, so
I have.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
I don't think you're going anywhere though, are you? You're staying put.
Yeah,
love that.
staying put.
Love that. Okay, and that's the end of today's episode of Wear Many Hats. Please do like, forward and share this podcast of Laura's onto friends and family, anyone that's wanting to get into the property industry, in particular with sales. So yeah, until next time, take care.